Hi everybody, so I have a very special video with a very special guest for you today, the beautiful Kirsten Kemp, who is a former dancer with Oklahoma City Ballet. She is now a certified life coach, all the things, and she has her own channel, which you might have seen, The Confident Dancer. And today we are talking about anxiety, performance anxiety, audition anxiety, walking into class anxiety, and she is the expert on all things mental health. And being a former dancer herself, she's the perfect person to talk about all of this with. So I hope you enjoyed today's video.
All right.
Okay. Hi, Kirsten.
Hello.
How are you?
Very well. Very blue.
Yeah, we did not plan this, by the way. We just showed
blue
up.
Blue and pink. It's an aura, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, maybe it is. But, you know, you're the perfect person to talk to about this because you are certified. You're a certified life coach, and I think it's amazing. And a lot of people watch my channel and come to my channel based on mental health, particularly in ballet. Mm-hmm. So what I wanted to kind of pick your brain on today is performance anxiety, and not just performance anxiety in terms of a show, but for auditions, yes, for class, when the director walks in the room, like petit allegro anxiety, like, you know. So first of all, tell them a little bit about your background, because we also filmed a video for her channel, The Confident Dancer. Head over there. But tell everybody your story with, if you've had performance anxiety, your experience.
Have I ever?
Yeah. Who hasn't?
You guys, I'm doing what I'm doing now because I have struggled deeply, and I struggled so deeply that I had to find answers.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, okay, A, there are answers.
Yep.
B, I want all the dancers to know them. C, there are professionals out there like sports psychologists and therapists who are doing this kind of work, but I found that there was a bit of a gap in connecting that to the ballet community, mm-hmm, because our lifestyle is unique, our perspective, our experience, our language that we use to describe our life experience is unique. And I found that when I was seeking help, the very few times I did, I kind of felt like I struggled with not feeling understood and like I can open up all the way. And so part of my experience was, after struggling a lot, and I'll get more into that, I realized that dancers really flourish and actually, they really thrive with this kind of help in shifting their mindset for optimum wellness and performance when that barrier is taken down of, I don't have to explain what ballet class is.
Right.
Or like,
so there's this thing called the bar. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Or, you know, it would be easy to, for someone like a therapist, for example, to give advice that would be very helpful for the average person. Mm-hmm. But for a dancer, we're like, you don't understand. I can't just like go up and talk to that person. I can't just like take a day for me. Like, no. You don't understand. You don't know it. So anyway, part of my story was that, but more specifically, I grew up in a small studio. The ballet bug, it bit early, and I was like, this is going to be my life. And I was alongside my twin sister. For a long time, my channel was called Twin Talks Ballet, if a lot of you had heard of it before, because my twin sister and I started it. So we were really like, okay, we want to do this professional thing. We eventually worked our way up through better and better summer intensives, went to the Houston Ballet Academy year-round, and that is when I shifted from being this big fish in a little pond. I was quite confident as a dancer as when I was young because I was naive, mm-hmm, and I just had this passion. And I noticed I went from being this very audacious kind of dancer, and I would be the kind of dancer who would stay after class and try to get those 4 turns on point, and I would do it to, I just saw myself shrink, mm-hmm, and it was so disheartening, and I felt like my view of myself really shattered, and it had to be rebuilt again, because I saw myself once thinking that I can take on a challenge. I'm a fast learner, to over time, it's like the pressure I faced in the academy that was, you know, legitimate. They're trying to prepare us for a professional career. I just saw myself like really becoming so fractured in my sense of like, can I trust myself? Because I would make silly mistakes and I would get yelled at, and I would just doubt myself so much to the point where I left that academy with some of the best training in the world, and the lowest self-esteem I'd ever experienced in my life.
Yep.
Ever.
Yep.
And it took a couple years to rebuild that. And I recognized that when I went to the University of Utah, I had a supportive environment where I was then able to grow or like really physically manifest all that knowledge that was put into me. And the difference wasn't the training, it was the environment and it was my mindset. So there were so many other things that happened in my journey. And eventually I did become a professional dancer with the Oklahoma City Ballet. And over the years, I wish I had an hour to talk about it. There were just so many epiphany moments where I realized that I could put in so much work to like make the show good, have the good technique, get the contract, but without confidence and a healthy mind and a certain level of trust in myself, emotional wellness. Without these things, the hard work almost didn't matter.
Yeah. Yep.
And so, yeah, I had lots of performances where I wondered, I was so anxious leading up to the show that I genuinely wondered, why do I say I love ballet? Do I love it? Because I kind of hate this so much right now.
Yeah. You
I would
lost your
fall
joy.
apart on the stage. Yes, I would fall apart. It's like I would make the weirdest mistakes. And it was all because I had so much anxiety around performing. So when I started to learn how to undo that, I've gotten to a point years later after, you know, my own personal growth and just trial and error to eventually getting certified in life coaching, but then also neuro-linguistic programming. That changed my life on how to work more with the subconscious mind to overcome things like performance anxiety, to where now I've performed, and despite not having, like, I don't really dance that much anymore. I'm not in the best shape of my life. I've had some of the best performances of my life where I'm present, I'm joyful, all these things that I never thought were accessible to me. So I just want to share what I've learned.
Please. So what, like, starting there, that's amazing. What are your top tricks? Because there are so many people sitting here going, oh my gosh, that's me. Like, when that teacher walks in the room, when we get the heart patella leg combination, like, how do you get yourself out of the dark black hole that we spiral into?
Totally. Okay. So it does depend a little bit on the person, but some of the things that can be really helpful is first, challenging some of the decisions that you've made about yourself. And I could call them beliefs, but before you believe something, you decide it's true. When I learned that, it blew my mind.
Wow.
So I ended up learning about myself that when I was a teenager, if I went back to that time in my life, I decided that I could just do whatever was put in front of me. I just decided, and I didn't second guess it, because I hadn't had experiences that caused me to second guess, that gave me evidence that it wasn't true. And what I've learned over time is, you know, when I had those experiences at Houston Ballet where I thought, oh yeah, I can do this, and I would make a really dumb mistake or stumble out of a pirouette, and then the teacher would point it out, I allowed that to challenge that old decision I made. And I allowed it to shift my perception of reality to say, maybe I can't trust myself. Maybe I was wrong.
Yeah.
And so I had some new decisions that I made through like very emotionally intense experiences of humiliation, fear, panic, dread. Like I had all those emotions attached to the idea of performing because of new experiences I had. But I started to believe those as the truth. Versus when I learned that actually our mind is extremely malleable. And when we start to make new decisions for ourselves and act as if they're true, just give ourselves the space to experiment. Like, maybe I can trust myself. What could I try to trust myself with today? And then how can I give myself grace when my expectation isn't perfectly fulfilled? Or how can I even challenge my expectations? Like even taking pressure off the table, which sounds wild. We could talk more about that because we're like, no, we need the pressure. Yeah. Actually, I have some thoughts on that.
Yeah.
But anyway, like going back to that idea of decision making, if you can start to uncover the conscious or subconscious decisions you've made about how much you can trust yourself, what you believe about your ability to handle pressure, if deep down what you are functionally believing through your actions is, I can't handle a challenge. I'm not good enough. Everyone is judging me. That's what it means when that's how people interpret eyes on them. You know, I even had a session with a dancer yesterday when I asked her, when she said, I start to crack under pressure when I see people's eyes on me. And so in my old mentality, I would have been like, yeah, that's scary, right? Don't know how to help you.
Yeah.
But then when I learned about challenging interpretations and decisions, I was able to ask her, well, what does it mean to you? Those eyes on you, how are you interpreting that they're judging me? Mm-hmm. Again, that's very much within the dancer's paradigm. Well, totally. Yeah, of course they are.
Yeah.
How do you know that? Oh, well, people have judged me before. Okay, they judged you before. How would you like to reinterpret that? What would be an interpretation that helps you? So yeah, challenge your decisions about yourself. Know that you can make new decisions. And it doesn't have to be, I'm a great performer and I can do everything.
Right.
You can start, make it manageable, make it approachable. Like, I'm the kind of person who can learn and change. I love that. Like, just start opening up to, I can get better at this. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So make that decision and use it as an exploration.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, how can I act as if that's true and find that for myself? So it's the questioning, the curiosity, and then just the willingness to act out a new reality until you have that proof for yourself. You know what? I can change. You know what? I can perform. Then you're able to change the meaning eventually of the act of performing to where now, and that's another huge tip. I used to have this assigned meaning to performing as I have to prove myself. Of course I was miserable. Who has fun proving themselves?
No.
Some people do. Some people do. Okay. There's some people in the world. But yeah, a lot of people don't have fun doing that. Yeah. That's not where their artistry comes alive. That's not why they decided to dance. You know what? I want to prove myself.
Yeah, no one says that.
Not me. Not me. So yeah, but that used to be the meaning I assigned to it. And this is all curiosity, you guys. Just asking, what do I think that means? Mm-hmm. Okay. Is that what I want it to mean for my future? So I started to shift the meaning of performing to being something. It's an act of generosity.
Sharing.
It's an act of, yes, connection with even peers. It's not just for a theoretical audience. I have gone so deeply, and I suggest this for everyone. I do this with my clients. I go really deep with them into creating this profound, deep sense of meaning around how the way they show up when they perform, even in a class, in a rehearsal, what that even means in a way that positively impacts their peers, their coworkers, the audience one day, the community at large. And so it's just, they build out this mental model that's just like, me showing up is a win for everyone. Yeah. And it's not out of arrogance. Like, even me showing up and responding graciously to a mistake, that's a win.
Yeah.
I could go on, but I'll let you guide it.
That's so good, because I think also this really applies to auditions, because so many students psych themselves out for auditions and they're going to hate me and they're going to like me. I'm not going to be good enough. I'm not going to make it. Is there a different way? You approach auditions the same way? Do you have a specific little trick for auditions? I know, at least with me, like when I've been on the other side of the table, I'm not there to like hate everybody. Like, the auditioner is just there to really just see. They're observing. They're not judging. But what are your take on, like, dealing with that type of, I want to get this pressure? Yeah,
that's a great question, because there is a little distinction. Mm-hmm. Of course, performing even in a rehearsal or in on a stage, that has a slightly different purpose. Versus the purpose of auditioning. I'm big on, let's talk about purpose, not just like the first thing you assume. I have to prove myself. Okay, that's cute. I can like be all generous and whatever, like when I perform, but auditions, that's proving.
Yeah.
You can think that, sure, that's like the most normal thing to think in the world. However, there are a couple things. So first, I usually walk dancers through, what do you genuinely believe that you have to offer? Mm-hmm. What's your personal brand as a performer? And what is it that you are looking, like what kind of opportunities are you looking to connect yourself to through the process of auditioning? So I can break down those different things. So usually there's a huge opportunity for personal growth when I open up the discussion, the can of worms of what are your strengths?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Almost everyone just says crickets, so much discomfort, fidget. I'm a hard worker.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, no, that's not your thing. No, that's not it. And so, what we end up discovering through me like challenging dancers to go deeper is usually it's a process of undoing a lot of beliefs about like confidence is arrogance. Nope, no, it's not. Not necessarily. I'm not allowed to focus on what is good about my dancing because either that's going to cause me to be lazy because I need to focus on everything that's wrong. Not necessarily.
Exactly.
How's that working for you?
Yeah.
Or I can't say that's good because someone else is doing it better. Can you tell I've spent years inside the dancer's mind?
Yes, you have. Because everybody's sitting there going, yeah, I do that too.
Yep. Yeah, so not necessarily. So when we kind of identify and undo a lot of those beliefs, then I just open up that just very non-judgmental space to explore. Let's even approach it from, instead of labeling something as a strength, what do you like about your own dancing?
There you go. That's
in
good.
the class experience, which steps do you feel like you come alive in? What's your persona? What are the emotions that you tend to like to feel and then share through your dancing? These are all what could be called strengths. Why? Because when you fully embody those things that make you come alive, people feel that. Is that not what art is all about?
Yeah.
We literally forget we're in an art.
Yeah.
And when we play the game of ballet like it's a math competition, how many points can I get for a higher leg? That's a losing game. Art cannot be quantified in that way. So part of the approach that I think can be so freeing to audition specifically is first, it's an opportunity to like do that mental work before you even go into the auditions of having that discussion with yourself that I just modeled. Like getting really clear on what you have and then take it the next step further. Why does that matter? And it's really interesting when we get creative with that discussion, like it matters. It would actually be a huge asset to that program or that company to have me in that space. That's what I would like to offer to them. It's not, again, it's not an arrogance thing of like, they're lucky to have me. And then if you don't get in, oh, they're lost. Like, I never think that. I'm just like, kumbaya, God bless. Yeah. That wasn't the right fit.
Yeah.
Right? Wish you the best.
Yeah.
I hope you love the group of people you chose. Like, clearly it just wasn't for me, and that's okay. It's not I wasn't good enough or whatever. Or screw you, you didn't choose me. So anyway, yeah, where was I? It's what can I offer to that space? What do I want to offer to the classroom? Your attitude, you're great to work with. You get to challenge other dancers. I could go on and on. So yeah, start to think of the purpose of what it is that you have to share and why it matters.
Yeah. Because
when we start to connect that dot to the dot of how do I want to give them a taste in this audition? Again, that's still generosity. How do I share it? Is it how do I share it in the way I talk to the person who's giving me my number? The way I smile? The way I respond to my mistakes? What's my demeanor? That shows.
Yes.
I have personally had heads, like all four people at the little judging table. Like, I saw all of them turn their heads towards me in an audition full of people. Was I the best? No. I just had I was so tapped into that energy of like radiating confidence, having this presence. And that's the mindset work. And I got offered something in that huge audition. Again, I was not the best.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's an energy shift. And it's sort of like if you watched our Instagram live, we were talking about how if you just go in with a mindset of how is this working for me instead of happening to me, then if you don't get the audition, you don't get the scholarship, okay, how can this work in my favor? Either there's a better path, either I'm supposed to learn something from this instead of, oh, I hate my life.
Right. And yeah, going back to the purpose thing of you go into the auditions, for example, same questions you would ask yourself if you're going into a performance. what do I want this experience to be about for me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you get to choose the experience. When I learned the principle, as I got my training in becoming a coach, of when we focus on our inner state being controlled by our external circumstances, like, I just need the external circumstance of getting in that company, then I'll be happy. I need the label of professional dancer, then I'll be happy. I need to be having that part, whatever it is. That's an external circumstance that is partially in someone else's control, that we're assigning our happiness to. We're literally saying, I'm going to put this in your hands. Take care of it. Oh my gosh, what a miserable existence. And that is the existence of most ballet dancers I know. Even if they're super positive, very intelligent, hardworking people, like great people, unknowingly have that perspective. And it leads us to live a very fear-based existence. That was my existence for a long time.
Same.
Until I realized, wait, okay, I can conceptualize my experience. Like, I can ask myself every day, what is the experience I want to have in the studio today? What is the experience I want to create in this audition? I want it to be empowering. I want to really go for things and be just proud of what I did and feel like I was very authentic to me. And through my authenticity, I'm going to give them a taste to really see if they want my authenticity, great. If they don't, literally great. Because I don't want to have to be fake to exist in that program.
Yes.
So you get to create your experience with your perspective. We're not going to be happy all the time, and that's okay. And I do want to add that there are times in every single human's life where our internal state is at the effect of external things happening. Obviously, hello pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Hello being a ballet dancer and like a teacher says something harsh to you and it hurts your feelings. That's totally normal. So I'm totally not like a good vibes only person at all.
No, you're very realistic. Yeah.
No, like, feel your feelings. But the thing is, once you are like, wow, I feel hurt by that comment, how do you want to move forward? Yeah. How do you want to respond to it?
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't get the audition. How do you want to move forward? Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. The last topic I want to talk about with you, because I have a lot of adults on here who are adult dancers who a lot of them want to get into ballet, but just are fearing walking the studio. I don't want to put on a leotard. Da, da, da. If you're an adult, or even anybody really, who has that anxiety of just to show up, just to be in class, what are they going to think? Da, 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 da. I want to take ballet, but I don't want everybody to judge me. Like, what are some things they can do to approach it, to be able to go do the thing they love?
Absolutely. So first, I'd say, why do you want to go? Do you want to go to be liked by everyone? Yeah. Do you want to go to put on a show?
Yeah. Look at me. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I do and I have a good time.
Right, great.
That's a personal choice. Do you want to go for yourself? To show yourself, like, I can do uncomfortable things? Ask yourself why you want to go and honor that. So honoring it could look like, do you want to go because you want to move your body and try something new? Awesome. That is your only job. When you go, that is your only job. And hey, if someone judges you and you show up anyway, doesn't that mean you could be even more proud of yourself? See, like, the experience that's possible just with simple reframes like that, change the meaning. Like, literally someone judging you could fuel your fire of like, I'm so brave. I'm so bold showing up to this class to dance. Even like the personal narrative of like, we talked about on my YouTube channel of like, your weakness can be your power. If you're afraid of like not looking good in a leotard, well, first, maybe according to the dress code, you don't have to wear that. That's okay. There's no requirement to look a certain way in an adult class. There's really not. So you get to wear what's comfortable. Maybe there are some expectations or pressures you're putting on yourself that are really just your mind, like trying to knock you back from doing something new. Because, oh my gosh, does the mind not love the comfort zone?
Yes.
Yes, your mind is probably just like generating all of these stories that come from your threat detection system. Like, don't do something new. Someone's going to think you're out of shape. Someone's going to notice you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Just, when I started to shift into the awareness that that's my mind trying to pull me back from doing something that matters to my wiser self, I was like, oh, that means I'm doing the right thing by showing up to this class.
Yeah, it's true.
Versus when the thoughts, you're like, that's a fact. They're going to judge me. It's like, how do you know?
Yeah.
Maybe they won't. Maybe they will. And what, do you want to be their friend?
And I think the other thing too is like, if you think about yourself in class, are you sitting there the whole hour and a half going, she looks fat, she did this, she did that, he looks like that? No, you're more concerned about yourself. Like,
totally.
And so people aren't actually thinking about you as much as you think they are,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And additionally, I think, I know people love to be around a flawed and unapologetic person.
Yeah.
In general, they love it.
Yep.
You know why? Because through each of our responses to ourselves, we are giving unconscious permission to others to also accept themselves. That changed my life when I was overcoming my own performance anxiety, because I used to be like, I have to be this and this and this, and I can't make mistakes and all that stuff. And then I realized a flawless performance is not what I have to offer the world.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the thing. The thing is me showing up, being loving, gracious, joyful. That's the honest, even when I'm not feeling good, like honest. Just being present, being here. Like, that's what I have to offer people. And actually, when I feel insecure and I do it anyway, and I just own it, or I make a mistake and I own it and just go about my life, that's actually what I have to offer people. Like, you showing up in your t-shirt, your baggy t-shirt to class, like, that's what you have to offer people. Why? Because there's probably someone else who forced themselves to wear a leotard. They're feeling really insecure, and they're like, I could have worn a t-shirt and been as happy as her.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. It's sort of like lately, like when I teach on Zoom, I wear leggings and a shirt. I don't wear a leotard when I teach my live classes, because I want everybody to feel like, oh yeah, I'm in leggings too. Let's just do, it's not always like, be perfection, but it's so true. It's so true.
Yeah. And a lot of our fear of judgment, I'll just very quickly add this, comes from sometimes, we've all had experience where someone says something that sounds kind of judgmental, but disproportionately, what I've witnessed in the ballet world is actually our fear of judgment comes from the judgment we project on ourselves. We project that onto other people and we tell ourselves they're doing the same to us.
Yes.
And then we validate that through seeing other people judge themselves, and we're like, see, they're judgmental. They're judging me.
Yeah.
But hey, maybe if you actually just start embodying I'm just going to do this. I noticed that actually changes rooms. It actually starts changing the ballet world, because again, it gives others that subconscious permission. She didn't judge herself. And I liked what she did.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't have to do that either.
Yeah, that's very true.
I could talk forever, but
Well, you're amazing, Kirsten. And we filmed a video on body image for her channel, which I know a lot of you have come to mind for that. So please go over. I'll link it in the card below. Go watch that video. I think we should do this again at some point.
I agree.
Different topic. If there's another topic you want us to cover, let us know.
Type it in the chat, in the comments. In the comments. This is not Instagram.
No, this is not Instagram. in the comments below, and I'll have Kirsten back. So, but thank you.
Well, I'll have you back on my little channel.
Oh, stop. I love it. I love it. But thank you all so much for watching, and thanks for being here, Kirsten. This was amazing.
Thanks, Katie. And thank you, everyone. Much love to all of you. You're going to do great in your next thing, whatever it is. Just be yourself. Just go.
Amen to that. Be you. Bye, you guys.
Bye.